All right, let's try this one more time. Thanks for the feedback, guys. Thanks for letting us know that it was not working out. Hopefully this time, let's get Lorin on here and let's see if we can get it working. Kind of weird thing. I'm not really sure what's going on here, why it's doing this, but let's see if we can get it working this time. Lorin, when you get on, I'm going to add you. It looks like on my end it's working, so we'll see here in a minute. Let's try this.
How's that?
Fifth time's the
Got me?
charm. I think we got it this time, dude.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you great.
Audio's okay?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
All right. It looks like everyone says it's working now. So
Nice.
everyone, if it's not working, let us know. If it quits working, I've got the live feed up on my computer, obviously. But let's roll into this. Lorin Morrell. I met Lorin at the Sand Show. Then we hung out at Buggy Whip, or at not Buggy Whip, King of the Hammers.
King of the Hammer.
You were there
Yeah.
together with Buggy Whip.
Yep.
I thought it'd be a really, like I said, special treat today for you guys to hear from Lorin. So make sure to comment. We got Sammy Hagar, yes. Make sure to
Yeah,
comment. What's up?
I'll probably take this off in a little bit. It's getting a little warm.
So, what's your story, man? How'd you get into doing what you're doing?
Oh man, I don't know. Like it started when I was a kid, really. I mean, motorsports. I've been involved in some form like my whole life. My pop was a missionary in Alaska, and he got into snowmobiling. And I actually took my first snowmobile ride solo at 3 years old. He adjusted the throttle so that I could only push it so far, and away I went. So ever since then, it's been on the pin, you know? It's dunes, whatever. I'm good.
So, you kind of started when you were young. Now, you're always kind of out there at these events, but I've never seen you ride anything. Did that, do you still ride? Do you still get out there and play? Or,
Yeah, I still get out and ride whenever I can. Lately, I've been like pretty busy. Um, on the road a lot. It's hard to get out and ride when you're traveling that much. Um, but I did. I was just at the Razor Forums ride uh, in Glamis North, with beautiful area by the way, really cool. Um, I don't know, 2 weeks ago or maybe 3 weeks ago. It was right after the weekend after the Mint, um, and through a friend, I was able to get a nice ride in a new Polaris RS1. Um, and that worked out pretty well. I had a lot of fun. I went out with a couple of the Polaris guys, and I'd say we guysed it with going along for a night ride, with or a sunset ride with the rest of the group. Um, and had a little bit of a mob session, kind of off and away from the group, and then caught back up with them. So um, I still ride when I can, for sure.
now
Hey, Jake, what's up?
what's that RS1 like? What'd you think of that thing?
I was really impressed. Um, out of the box. I mean, when you consider this was supposed to be a static show vehicle, and so I the shocks could have used a little adjusting. What's up, Haslam? Uh, and et cetera. But out of the box, man, it was a lot of fun. I had a really good time. I adapted really quick. I was a little bit nervous because I was reminded by the Polaris Watt team as we were leaving that they didn't have any spare parts, um, and it was the only RS1 they had. So, but I'm really grateful to those guys, Mike, Steve. Thank you so much for the ride. Um, Thank you to the people that arranged it for me. I really appreciate that also. Uh, but I was really impressed. The power's good. I really expected like we got out uh, just kind of quick. We took off. We got through some gnarly gravel chatter and stuff. I was still trying to kind of feel comfortable in the car. Got into some big gnarly whoops, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is going to be gnarly." Um, and we rolled out of those into some. I guess it's kind of like lake bed chatter bumps, like hardpan chatter bumps, and the group went left and we went right, and I was able to get some wide open throttle activity, and I was just blown away, literally. I mean, I expected, that old like Razor 800 or quad feel, where
Yeah.
ass end starts skitting around on you, and it's like, whoa. And it was nothing like that at all. I mean, it was, and we went from there directly into like kind of dodge and weave and some little bushes and stuff. And I absolutely fell in love with their left foot braking setup.
Now,
It's
that's a
like,
weird deal.
yeah, yeah. For maybe it's just old people like me. I don't know, but I'm a 2 foot driver, right? So it was really supernatural to like I had my left foot on the stop and just to slip it over and almost heel toe the stop to the brake was like awesome. So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good car.
Now tell us a little bit. So the Razor Forums ride, I kind of heard about it last minute. I think you might have said something to me at the Mint 400, and I really didn't even know it was going on until you kind of said you were out there. Now what was that kind of whole event? Was it just kind of people from the Razor Forums website?
Yeah, pretty much people from a Razor Forums group all get together once a year out there, and they just go on organized rides. Some of the participating, I was out there with SSV Works,
Okay.
audio company, and so some of the supporters of the group, kind of go out and set up and support the people in the group, help people if they need anything, kind of show your wares, and it's a really cool thing. It's the second time I've done it, and this year I actually got to ride. So last year I didn't get to ride at all. Um, so it was nice. It's kind of a little more relaxed. Like you were there at the Mint. You know what the
Yeah.
Mint's
Oh,
like.
geez.
It's off the hook insanity. The stuff I live for, but
Yeah.
nonetheless, like go 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 go. So
Oh,
the
sorry.
oh, that's all right. The so the forums ride was a lot more relaxed, a lot more casual. Um, so I don't know. I enjoy it. It was cool.
So let's talk a little bit about Mad Dog Media. That's kind of your brand. Give me 1 second here. There we go. Wrong button. That's your brand. That's what you do for a living. Which kind of at the same time you work for a lot of different companies. So what Mad Dog Media Marketing, is that the actual name of it?
Yeah, Mad Dog Media and Marketing. The name came from when I was a really young teenager and I started playing rugby in Canada. Uh, didn't have a lot of football at the time because of the expense of football, but every junior high school had a rugby squad. So I discovered that I was absolutely no good at basketball or volleyball. Um, but I was on the chip to tackle people and take people down. And so, it was that was kind of, I guess, in my approach to the way I played rugby is where the name Mad Dog came from, and it's kind of followed me through everything, and that's been partially my approach to how I do things. It's let's get up on the pipe and go, and then I kind of messed around with my brand a little bit, just trying to build it a little bit. Went to work for a performance company. They closed when the owner retired, and I decided that it was either go back to the automotive industry or try and make a go. Sorry, my chair's falling over.
It's all right.
Um, Try and make a go of my of the Mad Dog thing, and I was able to start picking up some work and fill the schedule. The first year it was hit and miss, but my wife, as most people know her, at least Instagram, Facebook, they know her as the Striking Viking. Um, has been a huge part of it is you know keep going, keep it happening, keep things rolling, keep working. You're doing the right thing. You're doing what you love. Pursue it. And so I've just continued to try to do that. I work with currently. Um, I'm working a lot with SSV Works, the original off-road audio company. Um, they work with Kicker, who are just a fantastic bunch of people. I do a lot of work for Buggy Whips. Uh, Incredible product. Proud to work with them. Um, and then just some of my own coverage. I've written a couple things for UTV Sports Mag. Um, hey Rob, how's Alberta? Sorry, squirrel. Anyways, the so it's been a good thing. I mean, working through the industry and getting to know a lot of people when I was kind of coming in back in like '07. Um, Dude, it's been great. I mean, the industry, I feel like anyways, the industry is all about relationships.
Yeah.
Uh, and that's the whole thing. I'm not the guy out there that like stab you in the back or whatever. I'm not that douchebag. I'm what you see is what you get. You can love me or hate me. It doesn't matter to me. I'm going to keep smiling, keep repping, keep having fun. I really love the industry, and I'm really grateful to the companies that I've worked for, with, and still do to carry it on. It's hey Ryan, congratulations, buddy. Keep up the good work. Um, so it's like yeah, it's I suppose there's people that can't stand me, um, but does it really matter? I
I
mean,
I don't think I've met very many people that can't stand you. And you talk about relationships, and Robert Haslam is a good example. You were the tie between me and Robert. And Robert's doing really big things on a snow bike and building his program. I know you've been kind of helping him. And I think you have a lot of people put trust in you to kind of help promote their brand. And I think it just is because you do have a good rep. You don't really care what people think about you. You just kind of go out there, you work hard, you grind boots to the ground, and then you go home or you go off to the next event or whatever.
yeah. Well, there's no replacement for hard work, and I think my dad taught me that. Like I said, he was a missionary. There's 5 kids in my family, so there wasn't a lot of money. Um, And there were times where, he worked 4 or 5 jobs put food on the table, and what an example, it's like whatever it takes to make it happen.
Yeah.
So for me, I feel extra blessed that, okay, maybe I work for several companies, but I feel extra blessed that I'm doing what I love to do and what I have a passion for, with great people in a great, great industry.
Yeah. I'm going to run
And I
back
like that.
here really quick. I'm going to read some of these comments before we get too far because people are still leaving comments. So we got
Nice.
Jacob Patrick Clark says, "What's up, Lauren?"
Hey, Jake.
Chris Blake says, "What's up, Jake?" And then he said further down, half the watchers are from Silver Lake. Heard Jake's heading here this summer. Chris, it's still in the works. I'd love to head to Michigan. Rob
Dude,
McDonald, Haslam says kicker. Ryan Eller, what's up, Lauren? And then Rob McDonald says, "Thanks, buddy. That was awesome." So keep leaving comments. We're just getting started in this thing. I mean, we're about, what, 10 minutes in?
Yep.
Keep leaving comments and keep asking questions for me or for Lauren. Lauren's the more important one in this case. I'm not very good at answering questions.
I'm just a guy, dude.
Haslam says, "Ask Lauren about throwing the brute force around." Oh, I think that's a big quad, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so I got a very, very early production limited edition brute force in 2007. I got a 2008 model that's a 750 V twin, fuel injected. It was their brand new model, so it had like lower center of gravity, better steering angles. They dropped the weight from like 640 something to 604, which I have it down to 574 with a full tank of fuel, which is they're getting like 5.4 gallons, so it's significant weight. Um, but with the pipe, we developed when I was with Performance Company, um, we developed a Super Pro pipe, which is a 2 into 1 into 2 that, with proper fuel management, makes like 30% more horsepower than stock. Um, yeah, so like, it made I can't remember, like 48 at the wheel stock or something like that. So now we're up there, and then I had Chris over at Benchmark. Hey, Chris, shout out. Reflashed my ECU for me, and we're up pretty significant horsepower to weight ratio. And the thing is just an animal. I love taking it out and just shredding with it. Never run four-wheel drive, but well, correction. I run four-wheel drive when I'm drag racing like the young guys with their hopped up quads, because I'm on knobbies, right? So I'm out in the sand running around two-wheel drive everywhere I go. I've never climbed any dune in four-wheel drive, and I've climbed every dune I've had the nuts to try. Um, there's a couple choke cherry up in Idaho's a no go. I'm not trying that. 700 feet's a long ways to come down with a quad riding you. So, um, but yeah, the thing's just a blast, and it makes huge power. There's any of you that have seen any of my stuff have probably seen some of the pictures from a photo shoot I did out at the Oregon Dunes in 2012 in Winchester Bay, and I was basically so Banshee Hill, they call it, goes through kind of a open start, and then it goes through a kind of a jagged chute of trees, like a little zigzag, and you come out into this huge bowl. And it's kind of a soft roll up to the top, but if you get gnarly, you bank it off to the right side, and you carve up, and right at the very top on the right side, as high as you can possibly get, it's just gnarly. There's a clump of trees, and if you look at some of my pictures and stuff, sooner or later you're going to see a picture of me blowing wheelies off the top of that clump of trees. Um, and yeah, I was shooting with, I don't know if you John from UTV Guide, and I almost killed him on that shoot too, so it was pretty cool also. But that's a whole nother story. But he's really quick. It's a good thing too. Uh, but anyways, yeah, it was. I love throwing that thing around. I love just it blows people away because they don't expect to see Grandpa's couch out there pulling 70 miles an hour across a dune or topping Banshee Hill at 55 miles an hour on the back tires. I mean, it's just, you know, it's a good time. It's just it's fun and it's team green, which is kind of my colors. I've kind of been a team green guy since I was a little kid, and don't ask me how or why. It just came together, and it's like you could almost say it's my favorite color. So, hey, Kane, welcome.
What's going on, Kevin? Kevin said, nice shirt. UTV World shirt.
Yes, I've been to every UTV Worlds. Um, Matter of fact, when I was with the performance company, we were a sponsor of the very first one of the sponsors, very first UTV Worlds, and we took in the main four classes. My sponsor riders took 9 of 12 podiums. So it was a pretty good day for me. So Worlds has a huge, huge, huge part in my heart. It's like it's good, fond memories. So
And it's this weekend, this upcoming weekend, right?
yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there with buggy whips. So come by and see us. I think Thursday and Friday in the Riverside Resort parking lot, tech and contingency, and then I'll be out Saturday trackside set up with probably a small setup. The sad part is you only get to see so much racing, but there's work to do. So, um, I mean, to me, I miss a lot of the good races, but there's nothing wrong with good hard work either. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of my next question. So when you go to events with let's use SSV Works and let's use Buggy Whip as an example. What do you do
Yeah.
for these companies? What do they hire you to do?
Generally, I guess the best breakdown would be I'd be, in most cases, the truck driver, the setup guy, um, the marketing and promotions guy on site, and then the teardown guy, and then the truck driver. Um, I just try and provide full service, get there and represent the product. I don't believe in representing products that I don't believe in. Um, it's it's one of those things where, I'd rather not work than have to live with the fact that I represented something that I'm not comfortable with,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Um, but these guys, it's probably, let me see, I'll leave tomorrow morning. So Wednesday early afternoon, I'll get to Laughlin, help Russell get the buggy whips booth set up. I'm actually making a stop by SSV Works in Oxnard on my way down. Um, oh, has knock it off. Gonna embarrass me. Um, so I'm going to stop there and pick up a extra display vehicle to put in the buggy whips booth, uh, and then roll from there to Laughlin. So there's a little bit of driving involved. Um, you should come on a road trip with me sometime because it's a blast, dude. I am my own funniest person, I'll tell you. Uh, I'm like, I got to find somebody to travel with me and just record this shit because sometimes it's like, man, who was I just talking to, So, um, but yeah, basically it's just a matter of getting things set up, making sure things look right, um, and trying to help those companies network with other companies through my connections, my friends, and kind of get good people together.
Yeah.
Um, and that's a big part of it. I mean, it's like I said, it's all about relationships. And so, uh, relationships and doing the right thing, being a good person. So, you know, I think it's important. Rusty, what's up?
What's going on,
Squirrel.
Rusty?
Sorry, dude. You may or may not have noticed I'm a touch hyperactive. So,
I feel honored.
um,
Rusty's gotten onto two of my live shows in a row. Come on, good job,
Rusty's
Rusty.
the man.
He is the man. Well, and that's so you're always on the go. I've been on the go. I think I told you this. I've been on the go like this last month, on and off. I think I've been gone like 15 or 16 days of this last month, and I'm like today I feel like I get hit by a train finally. Like I'm dead. How do you kind of stay on top of stuff? How do you keep going? I know a lot of coffee is involved.
Yeah, actually, believe it or not, there's a whole story behind the coffee that maybe we'll hit some other time, podcast or something. But the coffee actually helps me control my hyperactivity. So right now, this is me being controlled. Anytime you've met me, that's me being basically under control. Without coffee, I'm like one of those little creatures. You add the water and they turn into the little what were those things called? Gremlins. So anyway, yeah, no, I think just a big part of it is a love for what you do, passion, um, wanting to do the best that you can do, and be the best rep that you can be. Um, so to me, that's a huge part of it. Another part of it is like I'm not a big sleeper, so if it's midnight or 1 and I'm up at 5, I probably got a solid 3 hours, maybe 4 hours of sleep, which is pretty good for me. So um, I dig that, and that really helps me. Kind of superpowers, if you will. And other than that, I think it's a matter of passion and staying young. I don't really know how I do that. I mean, I'm the oldest 18-year-old that you'll ever meet. And I still can't get on a crotch rocket because I still can't figure out the connection between here and here. There's a little problem there, and it goes way, way back. I did some road racing, a lot of motorcycle riding. I can't wait to get back on one. Um, I'm slowly softening the Viking up to let me get back on one with the promise of being responsible. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's all a matter of attitude. And then I'm not probably the most healthiest guy around. Um, at least my diet's not, but I try and like during the summer months, which I'm looking forward to, it's finally coming back. I try and get on the that's great, Rusty. Hi, Amy. Um, I try and get on the mountain bike and I do like a 3 mile sprint that I have set up around the house here. Um, I walk a lot. My wife pretty much forces me to like do push-ups every day. I'm on the road, um, and when I call her at night, I could be 2/3 of the way into a 18-hour workday, and she'll say, "Hey, by the way, did you do your push-ups yet today?" So it's true. It's a true story. A couple of people I've room shared with can attest to me doing planks at like 1 o'clock in the morning and push-ups at 1 o'clock in the morning and waking them up or keeping them awake. So um, it's trying. It's I really don't know. There's no magic potion. I don't think. I think the biggest part of it is having being grateful for the opportunities that I have
Yeah.
and wanting to excel and have fun. Because ultimately, I mean, a lot of people are stuck doing stuff they don't like to do.
Yeah.
And I am really, truly not to be trite, but I'm really truly blessed, um, to be able to have the experiences I have and do what I do for a living. Um, some months are better than others, but we just take it all, and I try not. I mean, the roadside, the travel side can be kind of grueling,
Yeah.
um, and you always have little glitches here and there, but nobody ever sees that, right? I don't want to. I don't. That stuff. We can't focus on that. We got to focus on the fun, the positive, the happiness, you know. And everybody thinks, "Oh man, your life's you got so glamorous." You get to hang out with all these cool dudes and like Jake and Rusty and Haslam and Amy and Kevin and whoever comments next. No, but seriously, there's there's a lot of you got to love what you do for sure,
Yeah.
and I'm truly blessed and grateful to be doing what I do, and I'm very appreciative of the if you will, lease on life that I've had, and the ability to get on a 600-pound quad and sling it around at 50 or 60 or 70 miles an hour in the dunes, or um, get out in an RS1 and run 70 miles an hour across the chatter bumps or whatever. It's like, it's just a rush.
Well, and it's kind of funny because like one thing I've noticed about you is like you're kind of talking about doing push-ups or planks at 1 o'clock in the morning, and I remember at KOH we went to Chocolate Thunder or one of the hills one night back door, and I come rolling back into camp. Me and Russell were staying together in his toy hauler, and I'm 100% expecting Russ to be asleep, and I walk into Russ's toy hauler, and Lorin's in there and he's working on something on a computer, talking to Russ, and Russ is laying in bed, half asleep, kind of talking to Lorin. He'd like kind of wake up and like continuing the conversation, and then kind of just rest his eyes for a minute, and Lorin's going, 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 and Russ is ready. Russ is ready to crash. But that's kind of what the one thing about Lorin is like your personality, your laughter. It's so addicting. Like you can't fall asleep around you because the conversation's always going, and it's not one of those things where like someone that just talks your ear off. The things that you kind of said to me at events. It's kind of made me think. And the conversations that we've had at events, it makes me think, and it makes me walk away. Excuse me, walk away from that conversation thinking about stuff. And it really is inspiring, and it's inspiring how active you stay. Like I said, I'm home from a month of here, there, everywhere, and I'm dying today.
I just, well, it's, everybody's a little different and how that kind of stuff affects them for sure. But, for me, I just, I just dig it, man. I don't know. That's an old quote, but you know, it's you got to have fun
Yeah,
over and above everything. You know, you got to have fun, and I suppose someday when they put me in the ground, even the people that don't like me will probably say, "Man, he was a ass." You know what? But we had a lot of fun. I didn't really like him, but we had a lot of fun. So I mean, it's kind of what it's about to me. It's like, and helping people. I mean, guys like you brought up Haslam, um, that guy is just awesome. Always pushing the edge. Um, gnarly dude,
yep,
And for me, it's a lot of it is like living vicariously through him. Um, but I want to see him do good. I want to see him succeed, and I want to see him hook up with the right companies and get the right connections. And so, that's a big part of my drive, I guess. I want to make, like, I have more friends in the industry than I would consider connections or acquaintances, you know?
yeah,
And so it's always about maybe it's a karma thing. I don't really know. It's just I like my friends and I want to help my friends succeed, you know?
Yeah.
So, stop it. So,
What's your favorite event that you go to
oh man.
or that you've been to? You've been to a lot, I know. So,
Wow, that's tough. You know, probably the most favorite event that I've done, honestly. Um, I mean, Worlds, all of them are my favorite because I get to be around my friends that are like my off-road, my race family. Um, you know, man, I would have a hard time saying this event is my favorite. Um, I really enjoy UTV Invasion in Idaho, but part of that is because I'm so involved in it. You know, I co-promote it and work with the vendors and sponsors. Um, so that's like a big deal to me because there's a lot of me in that event. Um, but I mean, gosh, a favorite event? The favorite one, probably one of the coolest ones I've ever done. Um, besides, I did Mud Nats back in like 13 or 14. I went and spent the week with Mr. Dustin Jones from S3 Power Sports. And that was a pretty off the hook adventure, I'm just going to say. And that's the end of that story. 'Cause there are some stories, you know, when you've been around a while and you know a lot of people, there are a lot of stories that don't that end with that's the end of that story. Um, so, uh, but I really enjoyed. I worked for Mad Media um, in 2016. I think it is. I worked for Mad Media. I did TV production management, base camp management, and some stuff like that. Um, and I did UTV Worlds, which was pretty cool. And then they asked me to come back and do the MIMP for them. Exactly, Rusty. Uh, so doing the mint and being part of the production, um, I mean, dude, it was brutal, right? From 4 a.m. Wednesday morning to 4:30 a.m. Sunday morning, I slept 9 hours. Um, but it was like absolutely hands-on, involved in every aspect of the Mint 400. You know, trying to help camera crews get where they need to be and coordinate things and be there at the base camp. And when the BF Goodrich VIP limo bus dropped people off at the camera crew base camp instead of the VIP camp, um, loading these people. I have no idea who they were, but they seemed nice. They were a little overdressed for the Mint 400, but you know, loading them in the four-seat Polaris Ranger that Polaris had supplied us with, and hauling them all the way around everything over to the VIP tent. You know, just I mean stuff like that. These little things, but big picture, right?
yeah.
It was a royal blast. I would do it again. I've been, of course, contracting to other companies for the Mint and for some of the events. So, but given the opportunity, and time and good Lord willing, I hope to work with that crew again, um, and do something just as off the hook. So that of all the events recently is probably one of the biggest in my mind that I worked at. Um, UTV Worlds is huge, like I said, because these guys like uh, Amy Quintero was watching. I don't know if she's still on, but Seth Quintero, won the first Razor 170 race
Yeah.
at UTV Worlds. Um, and he was one of my sponsored riders, and great kid, and
Killing
he
it.
just did a
Great
great
kid.
job,
Yeah.
and they're a great family. Um, but he did a great job, and hey, sweetie,
There she is.
see you soon. But that was a huge deal for me. I mean, I'm seeing like in my Facebook memory flashbacks pictures of me and Seth in front of my booth in front of his car, and um, to see where he's at now. I take a lot of pride. I mean, obviously I didn't have anything to do with it, but I stood beside him at Worlds before he won. So I mean, it's like but yeah, it stuff like that was really cool. I mean, Sims won the desert race that year, and I had set him up with a new fuel management system that we were developing, and I've been working on for over a year. Uh, and I helped him tune the car from a rest area um, along along the Oregon, California, Nevada border, right? It's like I'll call you in like 27 minutes, and I pull over in this rest area, and the guy that I was traveling with is like, dude, are you seriously on the phone right now? I'm like, yeah, I got important stuff to handle here. And so, that another fond memory. It's like, so, but just, yeah, that kind of stuff. Every event has its has its place in my heart, I guess. King of the Hammers was crazy. I
Oh
wish I'd have
gosh.
yeah, I wish I'd have had time to get out and see more. But then again, it's one of those things where, I'm working. And when I'm working, that's what I do, you know. So I miss a lot of the action, but you'll find me at every after party, even though I don't drink, right?
Yeah.
I'm about the last one to leave usually. So um, it's, yeah, I don't know. Like Camp Razor's always fun.
Yeah.
Um, dude, there's just so many.
I've been
Uh,
to I can't I think I kind of talked to you about this. So me and Mrs. Dirty, we kind of talked at the beginning of this year, and we had 4 events on my list that I wanted to go to this year, and one of them was King of the Hammers. Well, I've already gone to 4 events this year that I didn't even plan, and it's just kind of like one of those things where, even if I'm not there getting interviews, like you said, I'm there making relationships.
yep.
I'd let's use Joey D as an example. I had met Joey D through Tim at SDR. And then I saw Joey D kind of shook hands for the first time at King of the Hammers. Then at the Mint, I'm able to hang out with him and his wife and his family and talk to them. And, like the Quinteros too. I don't know the Quinteros. Obviously, you do. Amy's on here supporting you. And, I've, one of the coolest things I think I've ever seen was, I've kind of been following Seth since he did his, karting for kids thing he did a few months ago, that event.
Yeah.
But I'm standing at Tech and Contingency, and I look over and I'm like, man, that's Seth Quintero. What a cool little kid. Then Bryce Menzies walks up and hands him his new race suit, and
Right.
I can see Seth's face, this young kid, and I think Amy was probably standing behind him. I see Seth's face light up and give Bryce this huge hug, and it gave me the chills because just the camaraderie and the community, not just in the racing world, but in the recreational side of things. We camped this last weekend with people we didn't know, and they fed us every meal, and we went home fat. And it's just the camaraderie and the community, and it's everything. And I'm jealous of you because you've gotten to experience that for a lot of years. Yes, you go out and you work hard, but you build relationships with awesome, amazing people.
Well, I mean, the industry, and I keep saying it's the off road.
Amy, that was
It's
like one of the coolest things I think I've ever seen was when Bryce gave him that new suit. That was really cool.
and see, I missed that because, of course, I was working. Um, so you have the advantage, especially in what you're doing, because you can go around and get content. Um, and that's really, really cool. I'm jealous of you. Um, because you get to go around and talk to everybody, and everybody. I have to rely on everybody to come to me. Sometimes I send them texts, "Hey, get over here! I haven't seen you yet." So. Um, but speaking before I forget, I had written myself a note so I wouldn't forget. You mentioned Bryce, and I just want to give a shout out. We got a few of my guys, my good friends that are in the recovery process,
Yep,
and if everybody out there would just maybe throw out some positive thoughts, or a prayer, or whatever you do to whoever you do. um, I want to Robert Haslam, my boy. Cody Elkins is recovering from an injury from a crash. Of course, Bryce is recovering. Um, and we want to wish him a really speedy recovery. My buddy Steve Bouchard
oh, I saw
from
he
a
got
lot of
hurt. Yeah.
rugged radios. He
Yep.
broke his collarbone in a jeeping wreck, I guess. So thinking of him. Of course, uh, and a lot of you probably don't know him, but my buddy Caleb, that's part of the Mad Media crew. Um, he's also freestyle BMX extraordinaire. Just broke his elbow and had to have surgery. So, on a serious side, what we do is dangerous. Um, and these guys are freaking gladiators, right? I mean, they're throwing it down to the lions every time they strap in, or every time they throw a leg over, or whatever. So shout out. Um, the other thing I want to say on that side of it is to the guys that are recovering. Um, Take notice. Colton Moore, uh, had a pretty gnarly wreck and injury. Um, and he just got cleared to get back on the quad. So it's it's definitely, if you stay dedicated to recovering and working hard, listening to the doctors, um, and you have a lot of people support you in a positive way. It's just there's light at the end of the tunnel, right?
For
So,
sure. Yeah.
anyways, that's my serious moment. I have a saying. I'll tell you when I'm being serious, because the rest of the time I'm not. So that was it. Uh, so anyway, what's next?
Well, we've kind of come to the end of the topics that I had. I know you kind
Uh,
of wanted this to be unscripted, and we've had some good interaction from the listeners. Do you have anything else really that you want to say? Otherwise, I've got some quick and dirty questions for you.
all my peeps that are racing at Worlds, if I don't get to see you, please be safe. I'll be saying a prayer for your safe passage, and to rip it through the desert. Um, oh, Rob McDonald. I don't know yet. I'm still working on my full summer schedule, Rob. So um, I'm not quite sure yet.
Well,
um, Other than that, we I'm just having a good time. I'm glad to be here. So you just keep hitting me with the stuff, and I'll keep slinging it.
all right. So if you're listening or you're watching the show right now, I only came up with a few quick and dirty questions. So I need like two or three more. We got to embarrass Lauren a little bit here.
Oh no,
So,
I knew this was coming.
so the quick and dirty questions. The first one is, have you ever been told that your facial hair is porn star worthy?
um, not in those exact words, no, and especially not from a guy. But thank you.
No
I think
shame. No shame.
it's all good. I love you. Virtual hug. Um, Yeah, no, but I do get a lot of comments about it.
Well, and that's one thing I know with you is I'm always whenever I can always spot you, whether it's your I'm not going to say gray hair, I'm going to say silver hair, majestic, and then the chops. So, got to be
Right?
jealous of that.
Nathan, believe it or not, it just happened. I had a much shorter mustache, and when I gave up blue/white collar work for slinging dirt, about 11 years ago, 10 years ago, for doing the switch over, um, I just decided, screw it. I want to grow them. So I did it actually to see my wife's reaction, and because I figured she'd hate it, right? And then she liked it. So as long as she likes it, if the Viking likes it, it stays. And as far as the gray hair, it's like my grandpappy used to tell me, and it wasn't necessarily in this context. I'm not going to use the context it was in, but boy, just because there's snow on the roof don't mean there's not a fire in the
Oh,
furnace.
jeez. Oh,
And
I
he was in
forgot
his
about
70s.
that. You told me that one. I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
So you know at least.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
what smell do you hate?
Oh, smell do I hate?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Um, Dog puke. Man, I don't think there's anything else worse in the world. It's yeah, and I'm whenever because I have two big giant like a 60 pound and a 90 pound poodle, and sometimes they just barf, right? And it's dude, so gnarly.
You know what's even
Yeah.
worse than the smell is the sound that a dog makes when it's about to throw
Oh
up.
my God. Yeah. Totally. Totally. It's like get outside quick. Go 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 go. Oh Lord.
So the last quick and dirty question, this kind of goes along. So this last week, Friday morning I was in Long Beach, and I was set to fly home Friday morning, and then we were going to leave for the dunes. And one of my biggest fears, I hate flying in general. One of my biggest fears is that I'm going to sleep through my flight. Well, last Friday morning, my biggest fear it came true. So,
Oh no.
how many times have you missed a flight?
Um, in the last, oh, I guess in the last 7 or 8 years since I've been, maybe nine, since I've been so, um, I've missed one by my own accord. Um, so I did miss a couple of flights thanks to American Airlines, who I'll never fly again. Shout out Alaska Air. Hashtag I fly Alaska. Um, anyways, yeah, no, one on my own accord. I got up. I had a 5 a.m. flight um, out of my local regional airport, and got up in time, no problem. Showered, all the S's, got my pot of coffee down. Um, and to be honest, the whole stupid thing was it. So this was over a year ago. Um, and if you've seen my Instagram, my Mad Dog Media Instagram at Mad Dog Media, um, you will you'll notice that when I travel, I tend to do Instagram stories, like i.e. Travel Tuesday or Travel with the Mad Dog or whatever. Um, so it was the first time I was doing the Instagram story travel day, and I was so wrapped up in making sure that I got things recorded, and so intent. And this goes to perhaps my hyperactivity, but I was so intent on making sure I had good content. I got out, got in the car, got my shot, hashtag this, hashtag that, hashtag Mad Dog Life, hashtag Carney Life, hashtag Life on the Road. Boom. Get to the airport, get out of my car, and I've got like an hour before my flight. And it's a pretty small airport, so, that's plenty of time. Get out of the car, pull the back door open on the car to grab my backpack, which has all my brains in it, like literally everything. Notepads, which I still use notepads, like the kind you write on, not the kind you plug in. Quite a bit, actually. And my tablet, my laptop, everything's in that backpack, literally. It's not there. And it's at that moment that I realize that it's sitting on the chair at the dining room table at home, 16 miles away. So, and it was snowing that morning, by the way. There was about 2 inches of snow on the road. And so I made the 16-mile turnaround trip in about 34 minutes. Back home, back to the airport. And when I got back to the airport, they wouldn't let me check in. So I had to sit there for over an hour to get another flight, which I missed my connection in Portland, which put me like 3.5 hours late. And I hate being late. I do not like being late. Like, if you're there on time, you're late, Grandpappy always said, if you're not there 10 minutes early, you're late. So, kind of stuck with me. So, but yeah, so that's the only one I missed really on my accord. And it was like the dumbest excuse ever. I was Instagramming. I was caught up in Instagram and forgot all the important stuff. So it's at least you had a good excuse. You were sleeping.
No, I don't think it wasn't a good excuse. I just remember, so my wife and my dad had texted me. So I woke up and I called my wife, and the first thing she says is, "Why are you not on a plane right now?" And then I think it registered to her why I wasn't on a plane right then. So. But.
Oh, yeah. So other than that, I'm usually at the airport 10 or 15 minutes or an hour and 15 minutes, hour and 20 minutes before I have to leave. So I'd rather walk around the airport and drink coffee than be late.
Oh, yeah.
So, it's one of those things.
Well, and then after that, after I was late for the first flight, I was 4 hours early for the next flight, so I was okay with it.
Oh, well, that's not bad then. You're rolling.
So, well, man, this has been a lot of fun. You got anything else you want to say? You kind of gave us some shout outs, but I appreciate you coming on tonight. You came on with short notice. We've been kind of planning and talking about this for a while, but
yeah, man, it's one of those deals where when we were talking about it, I'm like, hey, just hit me up whenever, Yeah, you got real people to put on, get them on because you want the quality. I'm just about the fun.
What are you talking about, man? You are you've provided some great content, some good quality content to the show. There's a lot of people that have said, let's get Lorin on the show. Not just Haslam.
Yeah, Haslam, he's a special case, So anybody that turns a snow bike upside down, man, I'm not sure that's normal. I'm just saying. If you're still there, Robert, sorry, dude, but that's I don't know if you've ever like if I'm assuming you've seen a freestyle show
Yeah, yeah.
live in person. Okay, so now imagine that the person doing the stunts is like your best friend slash like a little brother slash son to you. Um, and then pitch them off a ramp into a headwind in the fog and see how you feel. The first time I saw him ride, man, I was at Doomfest, I think, maybe 2012 or 13, maybe 14. Um, I just about puked. Literally, I'm just like, oh my God, I cannot watch this, you know? So, and at X Games, I was the same way at X Games. My wife was like, "You are going to give yourself a freaking heart attack. You know, you need to calm down." I'm like, "Oh my!" I'm pacing in the house, right? So, but no, it's you know, again, relationships, right? Oh, I'm sorry, bud. I'm sorry.
I like that. Special kind of stupid.
Yeah, yeah, that's my boy. So, but I do want to say, you know, if any of my friends that are following, if you're on Instagram, if you have not followed uh, the Dirty Dooner Show on Facebook, please do. If you're on Instagram, follow them at the Dirty Dooner, right?
At the Dirty
The
Dinner
at
Show.
symbol
Yep,
at the Dirty Dooner Show.
yep.
So be sure and give him a follow. Keep an eye on what he's up to. He's always doing something. Um, and good quality people on the show. It's a good time, um, you know, and I just appreciate your attitude, getting in, getting deep, you know, having fun, and I mean, really, you know, who really wants to work at having fun? You know, let's have fun. If there's work involved,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I mean, let's have a good time. You know,
yeah.
that's where I'm at.
Well, and I don't think I have, in this show included, the live shows are always fun, but I don't think I've had any interviews I've done, for the actual my Wednesday podcast that haven't been fun. And I just got back from California and I sat down with Eric from Hardwired Performance and Ryan Kibbe from Kibbe Tech back to back. And I thought, this is going to be kind of difficult doing two interviews back to back. And I was laughing my butt off the whole time.
Yeah, yeah.
We went till
Well,
10 o'clock at night and it was fun.
it's a matter of doing what you love, right? You
Yeah.
have the passion, um, and that's what it's about. You know, the passion fuels you beyond exhaustion or anything else. It's like, yeah, I'm tired, but God, this is fun.
Yeah.
You know, right?
Yep.
So I think that's a big part of it, and the people. You know, people in relationships. It just goes back to that, I think. So
Yep.
I've had a great time on the show. This is a good time. It's and I'm glad that we had some people interacting. That was fun. I caught your show. What was it last week with Tim?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a good show. So Tim was a good guest. I'm sure. I was a little nervous having to follow him up. You know, it's like he had the cool office and all that stuff, and you know, you're here. You are in my office. There it is, right back there. Um, so there's all kinds of family all over the wall. In case you're wondering what all that mayhem is, it's a combination of family and my kids from the time they were tiny, and a bunch of my old race car projects. So that's uh, that's my side of the office. So
I
there's your
don't
quick tour.
I don't really have an office yet because the office that I use, I'm getting kicked out for it to become a baby room. So the office is getting built over there. So this is where we're doing the live shows for now, and then the office is getting built off the garage here pretty quick. So
Nice. That's awesome. That is awesome. So I'm glad we had so many people tune in. I hope everybody had fun. I hope you have fun.
absolutely,
Because I always have a good time. So,
yeah.
the anybody anybody out there that might be listening, um, you know, shout out Jake. I appreciate you and your candor. Thanks to the guys that have been keeping me employed for the last 2.5 years. SSV Works, Buggy Whips, Mad Media, UTV Invasion, Fullerton Sand Sports, who I think is one of your sponsors. I'm not sure if they're
No,
not. It
he's
could
not. No.
be.
Okay.
Well, I may have to beat on him a little bit when I'm down there. That's my next project after Worlds. So I leave tomorrow. Worlds Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, um, Sunday morning back, Sunday afternoon back in Southern California, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at helping my buddy out doing some stuff over at FSS. So, and then long drive back home.
Yep. The Mad Dog life.
Yeah, hashtag Mad Dog Life, hashtag Carney Life, right? Um, it's it's fun. I really enjoy it, and it's one of those things where we're just.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah.
I will be there for you. I promise. As long as I'm not working. If I'm required to work, then. But I heard the going to the Laughlin Leap. I heard that it's not going to be. It's going to be more of a fall off distance jump. So it should be. Amy, I have pretty good confidence in Seth.
Yeah. I think he's gonna do all right.
I've known of his driving abilities for a long time, so it's one of those things. But I will if I can be there, you can guarantee I'll be there holding your hand, sweetie.
Well, Lorin, thanks again for doing this. If you are listening to this, follow Lorin, or on Instagram it's at Mad Dog Media. There's some underscores in there, which I'll tag in the post. If you are listening to this and you're not listening to it live or watching it live, ask questions for Lorin, ask questions for myself. We can still get back on and answer them. If you do have, a question about something where Lorin's going to be, and if you see Lorin, he's not hard to recognize. Go up and shake his hand.
Stop by and give me a hug. You know I'm a hugger, right?
That's right. Yep.
I mean, that's one of those things. I don't know where it came from, but awkward bro hugs. That's kind of my specialty, I guess. I don't know. I don't know where that even came from, but it was fun. But seriously, yeah, swing by. I'll be UTV Worlds. I'll have my Sharpie and be signing autographs all week. Yeah. Anyway, we're and if you're an eyewear provider and you build white wraps, hit me up.
There you go.
I'm looking for a product that I believe in to endorse. So, this space for hire. I will, Amy. We'll see you soon.
All right, Lorin.
So,
We'll
yeah,
see you soon, bud.
thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Yep. I'm gonna give you one of these. There you go.
Yes. Right back at you, bro.
All right.
Wait. Get it framed. Logo placement's everything, dude.
There you go. All right, man.
Right on, brother. See you soon.
All right.
Thanks.